Hello, this is Adrian Dean, Fitness for Life health teacher and CTE teacher for Graduation Alliance. As you can see today, we are going to talk about heart rate, and let's get this thing in. Let's get this in present mode. Here we go. All right, so activity 2.1.1 going along with lesson 2.1. Once again, we're just kind of breeze over heart rate. Fairly straightforward. We also had the heart rate assignment in the first semester of Fitness for Life, where we're doing more calculations. This is a little bit more, goes a little bit more in depth on kind of what the meaning of heart rate is and how it impacts you during exercise. So from there, let's just talk about what does heart rate mean? What is the meaning of when we say heart rate? What are we talking about? So also known as a pulse is the number of times a person's heart rate beats per minute. Normal heart rate varies from person to person, but a normal range for adults is 60 to 100 beats per minute. So when I say how fast is your heart beat or what is your heart rate, how many times does your heart beat per minute? And so if you go over here, you look on this, it's kind of hard to make out because of the the picture or whatnot, but normal range 50 beats a minute up to about 90 beats per minute. So if you remember when you did, I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, but when you did the assignment in Fitness for Life semester 1, you you measured your resting heart rate. Should have been in this range. Hopefully, if it's in this range, typical for athletic people with excellent cardiovascular health. So this is good. 35 to 50 is fine. Nothing to worry about. Under 35 though is unusually low, and that's something that if that's consistently happening, if you've checked your heart rate multiple times, definitely would consult your doctor. And same thing if you're in this range, 90 to 100. That's too high. So you definitely want to be somewhere in here. And as you get into the 90s, it's concerning or under 35. Okay? All right. And so how do you measure your heart rate? Well, there's a couple different ways here. This is once again in first semester of Fitness for Life. You should have practice doing this. There's a lot of YouTube tutorials, as you can imagine, on this, but I thought this was a pretty good picture here. You have the veins running through the arm, and so to measure your heart rate, you got to find what's called your pulse. All right, and basically your pulse is a representation of when your heart is actually beating. So you can to check your pulse at your wrist, place two fingers between the bone and the tendon over your radial artery. That's a fancy way of saying you got to kind of find that little indentation right here next to your thumb, and notice how he has his hand palm up. When you feel your pulse, count the number of beats in 30 seconds. All right, and then multiply this number by 2 to calculate your beats per minute. So if you're going to do 30 seconds, you're going to need your phone or some kind of stopwatch or something like that, which every smartphone has a stopwatch on it. So you find your pulse. All right. Of course, if you had a partner, it's good, but if not, that's fine too. Find your pulse, tap that stopwatch, get that thing going. All right, and then you count. You could even set a timer so you're not watching the stopwatch, because sometimes if you're watching the stopwatch, that might mess up your counting. So if you did a timer for 30 seconds, you found your pulse, hit that button to start that timer, and then just count your pulse. 1, 2, whatever it might be. And then when that timer goes off, that's your number. Then you multiply that number by 2. All right, and that will give you your heart rate. So if in 30 seconds your heart beat 25 times, your heart rate would be 50. Um, all right, and so there's many different, or you could use a heart rate monitor. There's many different ones out there. You got your Fitbits and things like that, your fancy watches that you can just put on your wrist. This one here in the picture has a watch with the strap that goes around your chest. And so there's these kind of click on the end of your finger that the doctor might have and things of that nature. So that's the basics of measuring your heart rate. All right, and kind of to finish it off here. During exercise, your heart rate, number one, goes up, right? So it might be 50 at rest, and during exercise, your target heart rate zone might be more around 120 to 160 or something like that. So it's going to go up. But of course, it depends on the kind of exercise, and that's why it's called cardiovascular exercise or workouts. In this case, running, biking, swimming, ice skating, things like that. So, but pretty much, obviously that's why we call it exercise. Any exercise, your heart rate is going to start going up and working harder. And then I want to talk a little bit, just touch on this, recovery. Your recovery heart rate is the speed at which your heart rate returns to normal after exercise. And over here I have a graphic. In the blue is a fit person, and in the gray is a less fit person or unfit person. So time, over here you have time. So after a minute, this person, both of them went, as you can see, went up to about 190 or something. After a minute, this person went down to 130. This person's still on 170. And after, 3.5 minutes, this person is back down to, normal or whatever, where this one is going to be higher. So it takes this person longer to recover. This takes this person less time to recover. So this person's going to be winded longer, and this person's going to be winded less time. So there you have it. That's recovery heart rate. That's the kind of the basics and gists of the definition of heart rate and how to measure it, and how it impacts you during exercise. So for now, I'll be signing off, and I hope you catch some more of my videos coming up in this semester. Thank you, and have a good day or afternoon.